You're listening to It's All Good, Magic, Mysticism, and Earth Medicine. Check us out by visiting www.magicandmedicine.blogspot.com. I'm your host, Dr. Candace Nadine Green.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm your Mystic Queen, Dr. Candace Nadine Breen, and happy Imbolc, everyone. I wanted to get this episode in quickly because Imbolc is upon us, and I've just been so busy that I've been working hard on a research book that I'm going to be publishing. I was trying to get my latest children's book out. Cuddly Cat is what it's called, and it's already out on Amazon if you'd like it. I've been working hard, writing and researching and doing my art because I have some art shows coming up, some author events, and I was lately asked to become a member of the collaborative here in Warren, Rhode Island. Not here, I'm not in Warren, but in Warren, Rhode Island. And by the end of February, I have to have my artwork up. So I've been trying to brush up things, do new things. So I've been really working hard. So forgive me if my recording today is not as great as it should be. But this is a great time. This is a great time of year. It's in the northern, up here in this part of the hemisphere. The first signs, Imbolc represents the first signs of waking up for winter. You know, the Groundhog Day comes in this season as in this time of year as well. It is the midway point between spring and winter, only up here in the northern hemisphere again. It's also a time to celebrate. It's a time of anticipation. And up here in Rhode Island, you start to see those bulb plants that have bulbs come up. You'll start to see those in the next few weeks. Also, onions will come up. And I know for me, I keep the leaves that have fallen down in the fall over my plants. I don't clean them up because I like to think of that as a nice warmth, a nice little blanket for my plants. So when they start shooting up, like my gladiolus, they shoot up, and a couple of my other plants, they shoot up. Sorry, one of my cats is being a pain right now. They shoot up, and I want to keep them warm because, as those of you who live in New England know, we're not out of the woods yet, and we still have some frosty weather coming. So I don't want my babies to get hurt, my plants. So I keep the leaves on them as a blanket. We clean the leaves up on the property, but in my what I call my Buddha bed and inside my garden, I keep those covered. And on the beds on the side of the house, I keep those covered. The side of the property, I keep those covered as well with the leaves. It gives them a nice cushion. But I get excited when I see little green peeking through. So it's time to celebrate that. Yay! Life is coming, spring. The earth much of nature is pregnant with life. Mother Earth is pregnant with life and is getting ready to burst out. Imbolc means in the belly. For those of you who don't know, it means in the belly. So this is pregnant anticipation. It's like those of you who experienced the joy of pregnancy, as I did. I don't care what people say. To me, it was joyous. There was this anticipation of this baby that's been being cooked in your belly that's going to come out soon. And that's what this season is. I mean, we have 9 months of pregnancy. Winter up here feels like 9 months. And then boom, the new life comes into the world. But it's not yet time. As you know, you're pregnant, the earth and nature's pregnant with life. And it's almost time. It's not ready. It's not yet time to burst forth into the world. So I like to think of this as well, as well as bursting forth into the world with all your dreams fully materialized. Winter also is a time for me when I do a whole lot of work. I do a lot of writing, I do a lot of art. It's sort of like a hibernation period. There's all these ideas being born and um, well, growing, let's say growing. And then in the spring, that's when I do all my shows, and that's when I'm all over the place, and that's my all my ideas go bursting into the world. And then in the fall I harvest everything and come back and do more work. So that's how it goes. It works that way with my own garden as well. I have a garden and I love my garden. So we're preparing for this growth period. And during this time, we should try to experience self-love and universal love. We welcome the energies of self-love and self-love into our being in order to honor Bridget, the goddess of middle winter, and invoke the element of her fire in her sacred flame. So I have an invocation that I want to share with you, but I'll share it in a little bit. I still have some talking to do. So you can always light a candle in honor of Bridget. Say a couple of prayers or invocation. I'll give you one to read. Also, during this time, we'd like to remember the warmth of the sun and to give reverence to the young sun god as he grows to fullness. It's a time of hope, a time of work, looking forward. Although the cold has not yet released the earth to spring, we know that as surely as the day follows, the sun god will return in all her glory with the goddess, and there will be renewed life to earth, to the land. Now, traditionally, as I just mentioned, pagans, people who celebrate the Sabbath, they light candles to honor the young god and to encourage the young god's growth and coming back to life. And if you would like to have a piece of lapis lazuli, place it in a dish of water and pass it around a circle. If you are celebrating with other people in a circle, you pass the bowl around. And each person in the circle can put their hand, his or her hand, on the stone and touch it to the stone and then touch it to the third eye, which will help to ignite clairvoyance or increase clairvoyance if you already have that ability. Also, some in the circle may feel that they have a blending of the essence of the god and the goddess and a renewed sense of balance within themselves. Balance and self-love, I would like to add. So I'm going to share with you, my notes are scattered all over the place today. I was really doing so much work. My workroom is a mess. I've just been working hard, so that's the problem with work. I just want to say one thing. And this time of season, you're working, and you really don't think that you're making progress. You don't think that it's ever going to come to fruition. Just like New England, sometimes this cold weather, you'd think, oh my goodness, is spring ever going to come? And you don't feel as though you're going to ever get out of what you're doing, and then boom, spring happens. That's the same way with when you're a creative person and you do creative work. You're working and you don't really see progress until until I turn around and I see all these artworks I've done, or I look and see all the books that I've published, things like that. And then I said, oh, okay, I guess I've done a lot during the winter. So there we go. Now, this is an invocation that comes from the Book of Blessings and Rituals. It's titled Magical Invocations for Healing, Setting Energy, and Creating Sacred Space. And it's by Athena Parakis. I hope I didn't mispronounce that. Dr. Athena Parakis. All right, so a gathering of energies for wellness and self-care. I'm just going to read it to you because I didn't invent this. I didn't create this, so I'm not going to try to pretend that I did. The turning of season from winter to spring is a sacred occasion. You can use the following invocation to honor Bridget, goddess of middle winter, and to invoke the element of fire in her sacred flame. So here it is. Today at middle winter, I feel a stirring. All around me, signs of life emerge from beneath blankets of snow and ice. Within me, life emerges too, and I honor the return of light, strengthening my life force on this sacred day. I light a candle to Bridget, goddess of the eternal flame. I am grateful for Mother Earth and her gifts. I invoke the radiant energy of the sun as I feel the days growing longer. The sun's gentle return, the flame, its rays spreading warmth across the land, across my heart. I am that light. I share my light with others, and in doing so, my light expands. May all that I touch grow, bloom, and flourish with love and beauty always. So it is. And I'll be sure to put this book, a link to purchase this book or to look it up in the show notes. So just please click the show notes. This reminded me of an interview I gave earlier this week for the Storytellers Network. I was on a guest on the Storytellers Network. When this show airs, by the way, I will put it in a show, so you'll be able to hear the interview in its entirety, which there are quite a few lessons in it. And one of the things we talk about is that everything has a story. And when I think of the seasons changing, that is a story as well. There's a story of every plant that grows. It's how it started. And even things that we think are inanimate objects. I'm looking right now at a little wooden easel I have on my desk where I write notes. And I think about the particles that make up this easel, the wood from the tree, the life of the tree, the string, the cotton piece of it here, where it came from, the fields, all the lives that were used to create this cute little easel. And it has a story as well. And I think of winter as being the creation of the story. And then in spring, the story goes out into the world. The life goes out into the world to try to make a difference. I know that sounds sappy, but that's my idea. So this is a very short episode. I did not want to let Imbolc pass without sharing something with you. So I hope you do enjoy your Imbolc. And remember, you don't have to do anything fancy, but taking a little bit of time to reflect, light a candle, think of what is going to happen in spring, start to make your plans of going out into the world in spring, meeting the world again. What are you going to do? How are you going to share your knowledge and your gifts with those around you? How are you going to prepare for this season? Those of us who are gardeners, I have a very nice garden. I get ready to prepare in the end of February and March. I like to get my peas outside. You can put those out there in the cold weather. It doesn't matter. And that's what I do. I start preparing my where I'm going to plant the peas. I clear everything out and clean it and till the soil and all that. And then I plant my peas in March. And we eat those peas. I don't only have peas. I have peas, beans, soybeans, all of the different varieties of beans. We love beans and peas here. Oh boy, do we ever. So I clean all of that and I really enjoy it. And when I touch the soil, it just feels and I feel such a connection with the earth. And I love walking out there and seeing the little sprouts, the heads of the beans, how they just sort of like, they're like little heads waking up, of the peas, like little heads waking up, coming out of the soil. And it's such, it does something magical to me. I love, love, love it. So everyone, please feel free to send me your comments, and I'd love to know how you participate in this time of the year, this getting ready for spring, this Imbolc time of year. So feel free to email me or fill out the contact form on my website, and it's magicandmedicine.blogspot.com. That's also in the show notes. Or feel free to send it directly to me at Candace, CANDACE _Breen, B as in boy, REEN, at yahoo.com. Meanwhile, enjoy your day. Enjoy the season. Don't forget to be grateful for the bounty that you have received from Mother Earth and all that she has. Blessed be.
Thank you for listening to It's All Good Magic, Mysticism, and Earth Medicine. Visit us anytime at www.magicandmedicine.blogspot.com.